Welcome to Star Life TV. In this video, I will discuss the symbolism and negative future programs embedded in the Intervision 2025 music contest. On September 20th, the international song contest Intervision 2025 took place at the Life Arena near Moscow. Representatives from 22 countries participated. According to the organizers' concept, the contest was intended to be a cultural alternative to Eurovision, focusing on national diversity and identity. While some participants adhered to this requirement, others chose to emphasize eerie imagery and well-known symbolism. As a result, the event at times resembled an unabashed frenzy of demonic possession. The symbolism begins with the date of the contest. It contains the disaster code 9/11. Initially, representatives from 23 countries applied to participate in Intervision. Ultimately, for political reasons, a singer from the USA was unable to perform in the final. However, official sources still list the same number of contestants, as an American representative was present among the jury members, Deep Purple vocalist D-Lain Turner. For adherents of a certain well-known cult, the number 23 holds special significance. It is called the code for summoning Satan, as dividing 2 by 3 gives 0.666. Intervision 2025 was opened by Polina Gagarina and D-Lain. On stage, the artists were accompanied by a choir arranged in the shape of the primary Masonic symbol, a pyramid. Behind them, a planet with a fiery glow, resembling an explosion, was visible. Midway through the performance, fire rained down from the sky. Then, Gagarina and D-Lain ascended on a floating platform. At that moment, it created the sensation of an alien spaceship hovering over the stage. Combined with the diverging blue rays, these images could represent a program for an alien invasion, which the elites are planning to stage for the populace. Next, the contest's hosts took the stage. They were Alexei Vorobyov and Ida Garifalina, along with Indian actress Meng Lei and Chinese showman Steffi Patel. Garifalina appeared as the so-called Red Queen, standing at the head of Illuminati Society. Throughout the hosts' time on stage, the Intervision symbol was visible behind them. It resembled a giant eye, the Masonic symbol of the all-seeing eye. Following an address by Vladimir Putin, the participating countries were presented. However, it was not the artists themselves who appeared on stage, but their digital avatars in the form of giant figures with virtual reality glasses on their eyes. On one hand, these images allude to the idea of the world's unreality, suggesting that everything around us is a computer simulation. On the other hand, the appearance of digital avatars could hint at the elite's plans to transition human life into online space. One of the first to take the Intervision 2025 stage was the musical group from Kyrgyzstan called Nomad. The artist's performance was entirely dedicated to the idea of our world's unreality. First, the camera focused on a moon floating in dark space. Inside it was a girl, apparently personifying the moon goddess, Gunda, described in Kyrgyz mythology. The moon is a symbol of magical power and the subconscious. It is connected to the cult of devil worship. Next, one of the members of the Nomad trio appeared on stage. The singer was in a boat in the middle of an endless ocean of dark water. In overhead shots, the boat resembled a tombstone. The spiral depicted on it is a symbol of cyclicity and the continuity of life. Meanwhile, the water space was lit up in the shape of the primary Illuminati symbol, a pyramid. During the performance, a glow appeared near the performer's heart, after which mountains, fields, and houses began to materialize behind him. Overall, this scene shows how human consciousness, a lone particle in the universe, visualizes its own world through the power of love. Next, the singer from China, Wang Shi, performed. His act was also built on the idea of our world's unreality. Throughout the song, the artist was alone in the vastness of the universe. This references the theory that only human consciousness exists objectively, and everything else is a product of its visualization. Wang Shi was dressed entirely in black and stood under a beam of light emanating from one of the stars. These images could allude to the morning star, the planet Venus, which is a personification of Lucifer. Soon, a full moon appeared in the dark sky, a symbol of the cult of devil worship. The singer from Kenya, Natasha Sanaipe Tande, during her performance, repeatedly formed her fingers into the gesture of 3 sixes. Performing as contestant number 7 at Intervision 2025 was the singer from Kazakhstan known under the pseudonym Amra. The artist appeared on stage lying in the middle of a field. It created the sensation that the performer was surrounded by thick clouds of smoke. In the following seconds of the act, the field around Amra was lit as if engulfed in flames. Such visual imagery could represent a negative future program related to steppe fires. Midway through the act, a little girl with a flashlight joined the artist. At the same moment, a full moon, a symbol of the devil-worshipping cult, appeared behind him. When the girl approached Amra, her flashlight illuminated everything around with a bright light. Simultaneously, the screen filled with butterflies, and the child began spinning with them. The butterfly is a symbol of the human soul, so this scene could symbolize the girl's transition to the other world. At the end of the act, everything disappears, and the young artist, with tears in her eyes, walks away into the darkness. During the performance of the contestant from the UAE, the moon was again visible on the screen. Performing as contestant number 9 at Intervision 2025 was Yaroslav Dronov, known under the pseudonym Shaman. The artist's act referenced the film The Matrix and the idea of our world's reality. First, he appeared on stage with wires connected to his back. Shaman was accompanied by a digital avatar of a girl, who was also connected to the system. During the performance, the artist's virtual beloved disappeared, meaning the illusion was shattered. Immediately after this, Dronov began falling downward, as if plunging into the underworld. A beam of light formed the primary Masonic symbol, a pyramid, above him. Shaman's fall itself could reference Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland, specifically the moment when the main character falls down the rabbit hole. This, in turn, shows that the true secrets of the world are much more terrifying than we can imagine. At the end of the act, Dronov meets the girl presented at the beginning as a digital avatar. On one hand, this could symbolize the materialization of desires through the power of thought. On the other hand, this scene shows that true love can only be found by abandoning illusion. The singer from Tajikistan, Farrokh Kasanov, appeared on stage standing in front of a lighthouse. It symbolizes enlightenment and secret knowledge, accessible only to those seeking the path. Light from the lighthouse fell on the artist, forming the primary Masonic symbol, a pyramid, above him. After a few seconds, Farrokh enters a digital space and jumps from cube to cube. All this refers to the theory of the world as a computer simulation, according to which life is merely a kind of game. At the end of the Tajik contestant's performance, several lighthouses appeared behind him, looking more like high-voltage powerline pylons. Everything around was engulfed in flames at this time. These images could represent a program for mass power outages due to accidents and fires at high-voltage powerline supports. During the performance of the singer from Colombia, Nydia Gongora, the screen was filled with hundreds of glowing bubbles. They symbolized human souls. Towards the end of the act, the spheres began rushing into the sky, after which the screen went dark, and the singer herself collapsed backward unconscious. The hosts called the performance a ritual of connecting with ancestors through the present and future. In reality, everything happening on stage could symbolically show the destruction of life on Earth. Behind the singer from Ethiopia, Netzanet Sultan, a digital city with glowing avatars was shown throughout her performance. Midway through the act, the action seemed to move inside a computer. In this way, the idea of our world's reality was reflected. The singer from Venezuela, Omar Acevedo, ended his performance with the sign of the devil's triumph. One of the most eerie and symbolic was the act of the contestant from Vietnam named Duke Phuc, who ultimately won first place. On stage, the singer and his backup dancers appeared in triangular hats representing the primary Masonic symbol, the pyramid. After a few seconds, the artists formed a figure referencing the Hindu goddess of destruction, Kali. A few seconds later, a black sun, a symbol of the apocalypse, appeared on the screen behind Duke Fuck. At the same moment, everything around was engulfed in fire. Closer to the end of the act, silhouettes of people were shown on the screen, each in their own cell. The color scheme at this moment corresponds to the favorite shades of the Illuminati. The scene itself symbolically showed people in a state of disunity and limitation, into which the system drives us. Thus, the Vietnamese participants' performance was nothing less than a program for the apocalypse. It is quite possible that for this very reason the contestant took first place, after which his performance was viewed by millions of people worldwide. Next to take the stage was the singer from Belarus, Nastya Kravchenko. The girl was in a glass booth from which she could find no exit. All this symbolizes the trap of the material world. Then the camera focused on the dancers. They resembled puppets suspended by strings. This scene directly reflected the position of ordinary people. At the end of the act, dozens of glass jars with moths inside were shown on the screen. Moths are a symbol of the human soul and immortality. The fact that they were imprisoned in jars indicates the lack of true freedom for people. Overall, in terms of symbolism and occult subtexts, Intervision 2025 was far from Eurovision. The acts of many participants sincerely reflected the national culture of their countries and were quite positive. During the contest, there was no emphasis on promoting LGBT communities and other alien values, which is undoubtedly pleasing. Nevertheless, the event contained clear references to the theory of our world's reality. The performances of some artists contained negative programs for the near future, and Illuminati symbolism in one form or another was used in the stage design. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Like this video,